Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz is spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to convince his supporters that he's an innocent man, but all this spending might be a complete waste. Joining me to talk about this is Farron Cousins. Farron, as I look at this, I don't know who's less popular this week, the Academy Awards production people or Matt Gaetz. The numbers are dismal on both of them. But these guys, he's in a free fall right now. He's trying to spin his way out of it. What's your take?
It's really interesting what Matt Gaetz is doing right now, because obviously when there's a scandal, you spend so you can spin it. But Gaetz is in a district where he doesn't have to spin it. Right? This is a deep red district that already, according to polls, they still support him. So why is he spending, $116,000 on direct mail advertising here in District 1? It's because he understands that he has always had many primary opponents. Some of them, kind of a little wacky, but some of them serious contenders. And those people are chomping at the bit to come at Matt Gaetz in next year's GOP primary using this scandal as a way to finally take him down and overtake that seat.
Okay, so one thing I think is interesting, his TV ads are fight back. You're the victim. I'm Matt Gaetz, and you're the victim because everybody's lying to you. And he goes after CNN, which, I get it. CNN, there's more trash TV on CNN than you can count. But CNN is not really going after him here. I don't get that whole connection. He's saying, fight back. You're the victim because CNN is lying to you, and they always lied to you. MSNBC, he's targeting them, I think. Roger Stone. He has Roger Stone doing all of this. It's the weirdest scenario.
Right. And you go to Roger Stone when you're desperate, right? We've seen that in the past. That is what Roger Stone does best. But again, I think he's using the CNN bit as a scapegoat because, like you said, CNN's not going after him too hard. But if he draws people's attention to, say, the Daily Beast, that's breaking a lot of these stories, that has all those Venmo receipts, suddenly his supporters might say, well, what is the Daily Beast? Let me go look at, oh my God, this looks even worse. So he's trying to misdirect people like, go be mad at CNN, and I'm the victim, and I'm with you, and they're going to come after you next, is one thing he said,
and the whole CNN thing's been set up, fake news, and they've had to make so many apologies about the reporting, so he's trying to capitalize on that. Interesting, his legal fees, he's $85,000 in legal fees at this point, and it's just started because, what he's looking at is sex trafficking. And if it goes bad, we're talking about a lot of time in the clink, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the whole point of, all of this may be for nothing. He may be spending all this money on advertising when, depending on the outcome of this, he may not even be able to run for office this time next year. So this is going to be really fun to see how it plays out.
An interesting thing, he's having these fundraisers, and the folks in D.C., his people that he doesn't get along with, he says, I don't really have any friends in D.C. It's pretty obvious they're not sending him any money because he can use his campaign contributions for his legal fees. Most people don't understand that. In a recent interview, YouTube's CEO admitted that their algorithms are pushing corporate news instead of independent media. No surprise here.
Right.
Okay, now this is called YouTube. Okay, it's not called corporate media tube, but it's become corporate media tube. Let me show you how it is. I know you've looked at this. When we do a segment here, every segment behind us is MSNBC, CNN, MSNBC, CNN. Why? Because they're paying YouTube so darn much money, it's generating advertising revenue for them, and they're paying money. They're advertising, and they're saying, look, if you'll put us up there and promote us and push us, we'll spend more money. This is a really ugly story. Because they've made, the test right now is YouTube is simply broadcast TV.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It really is, especially with their, new streaming service and the premium memberships. But, Susan Wojcicki, the CEO
what a dope.
of YouTube, actually admitted this. I mean, that's the part people have to understand. She did literally admit during a recent conference, yes, we're pushing corporate media sources because, she says, they're more reliable. we don't want to push some Yahoo down there who's doing videos from his basement.
Yeah, that's the talking point, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's she said from the basement. That internet
news alert. This is not a basement,
right?
Okay, So the point being is that corporate media, and we talked about this for years. It was just a matter of time till corporate media, everybody starts cutting their cable.
Right.
Okay, they're cutting their cable left and right, and they're saying, "Well, gee, I can go to YouTube and I can get some of my information there." But now the information, according to this management woman who says this is what I'm going to do, she's just giving you corporate media. It's all CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS. It's all corporate media because they're paying them so darn much money to do it.
Yeah, and it's really disappointing because you have people who doing these channels on YouTube, these news channels, where they actually do, by the way, go out and do real reporting.
Yeah.
They're on the ground. They're talking to people. They're doing the FOIA requests and doing videos on the results of that. These are actual journalists, and they're getting punished because they don't have the money that corporate media has, and corporate media is now just taking over YouTube.
You know what I thought of when they said that they're just not getting legitimate news stories? We have to go to corporate media to do that. I couldn't get out of my head the Cuomo story, Chris Cuomo, where they do a set. It's all staged. Chris Cuomo is coming out of his cellar now after fighting COVID. The rest of the story is he had come out of his cellar a week and a half before, and it was just staged exactly what CNN wanted to do. But they're saying, oh, look, the reason other stuff isn't creditable is because they're shooting it down in their basement and they're just not credible reporters. This woman is just so far out of reality with this, and I think it's going to start hurting. There's going to be some serious competition. I got about a minute. Tell me, don't you see that happening? Somebody's going to move into space.
Right, absolutely. We're already seeing some content creators moving over to Twitch, which is an equally popular platform at this point. And there's lots of talk and of people saying, why don't we start our own? And I always kind of laugh at that because I say, listen, I've been a part of multiple groups and we have tried that, but y'all weren't there to support it, But there are groups that are saying we've got to move, we have to do something. But independent media is dying in the meantime.
I think Twitch is a threat. When people start understanding that this woman, the CEO for YouTube, is shoving this down everybody's throat, you've cut your cable. Okay, you've cut your cable, but we're still not going to let you get away because we're going to have that same cable stuff on YouTube. It's really kind of a train wreck possibility. Farron Cousins, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.